Good evening. I'm Frederick County Executive Jan Gardner, and I'm pleased and honored to welcome all of you who are joining us this evening and who will view this program to share in a very special recognition ceremony. We're really going to recognize some unsung heroes in Frederick County who deserve our gratitude and thanks for helping others in this instance of an emergency. In July of this year, a local family decided to enjoy a summer day at one of our beautiful parks, the Cunningham Falls State Park. And what was supposed to have been a fun day took an unexpected turn to become a life-saving water rescue event of a little 5-year-old girl. So let me share a little bit about what happened that day. It was a hot and beautiful day on July 15th. Beverly Mason planned a family outing to take her 4 grandchildren to Cunningham Falls State Park for a day out with Grandma. She could not have known how the day would turn out or how 4 special individuals would step up to save her granddaughter, Aliyah Newsom. Shortly before 4 o'clock that afternoon, little Aliyah was swimming in the water when she began to experience some trouble swimming. The Frederick County 911 Communications Center received several calls about this. They were told that a little girl had drowned in the lake at the state park. What made this call so unusual is that at least one caller or more reported that the girl had already been rescued from the water and that CPR was being performed on the shore. The 911 center dispatched an ambulance and a medic unit from Company 30 in Thurmont, as well as a crew from Station 10 at Guardian Hose and Medic Unit EMS 901. In the 12 minutes it took for crews to reach the lake, an amazing chain of events took place. Aliyah's grandmother, Beverly, saw the girl go underwater, and she began immediately to frantically motion for help. The person here standing to my left, Mohammed Al-Harris, was also swimming at the lake. He was there visiting, and he saw the grandmother's reaction and the calls for help, and he swam over to where the little girl was last seen. Now, Mr. Al-Harris once worked as a lifeguard, so he dove underwater and found the girl in approximately 5 feet of water. He carried her to shore where she was, at that point, they could not find a pulse. So at the beach, both Mr. Al-Harris was joined by the person to my right, Patrick Vanderkruisen, who was a 3rd-year lifeguard and head lifeguard at the lake. And he immediately checked for a pulse. And when he couldn't find a pulse, Patrick began CPR. So Mr. Al-Harris and Mr. Vanderkruisen performed CPR for approximately 12 minutes with some assistance from a few others, which is a very long time. It's very physically demanding to do CPR the way it's required in this day and age. It really requires a lot of energy to keep up with 12 minutes. They were joined during that time by another lifeguard, Jenna Cease, who is a student at Frederick Community College and also a lifeguard. She's been a lifeguard for 1 year. And this was the first time that she was involved in saving a swimmer. So the trio worked together to administer chest compressions and oxygen until EMS arrived. While they were working, a 4th person, who's the second person to my left, saw what was happening and came to assist. This is Heidi Cicada, a nurse practitioner at American University Health Center. She was at the concession stand at the park when she heard the commotion. And her normal reaction was to race to the scene to help, despite the fact that she was 7 months pregnant. A casual visit at the park with her friends had turned into a life-saving day at the lake. Heidi helped with compressions and then switched to administering oxygen. She also, as somebody with some experience, checked on the young lifeguards to make sure that they were emotionally okay, since it was their first emergency situation that they had experienced. And you know, these experiences, and all of our fire and EMT folks can tell you that there's a lot of emotion involved in all of these kinds of situations. By the time emergency responders arrived, Heidi had faded back into the crowd, knowing that the job was complete, so they didn't actually find her for a little while. The medics who arrived at the lake found that their patient had regained a pulse and was expelling water from her lungs. Crews consulted doctors at Johns Hopkins Pediatric Trauma Center and requested a helicopter flight for Aliyah. By now, she was conscious and alert, but exhausted and somewhat lethargic. Because she had water in her lungs, she was taken to Johns Hopkins for treatment. The good news is that little Aliyah has fully recovered, and we're so grateful that 4 caring individuals worked quickly to save her life before our fire and EMS crews could arrive. As a parent, as a mother, I cannot begin to imagine what it must have been like for her grandmother to watch that little girl go underwater and not come back up. These extraordinary individuals who assisted and joined in the response really prevented a tragedy through their life-saving efforts. So I want to thank personally each of you for your willingness to take action in the middle of a crisis. I certainly also want to recognize and acknowledge our fire and rescue personnel and the 911 call takers who took the calls. You know, sometimes we forget to recognize the 911 call takers. They're really our first responders. They're the people who take the call and provide direction to make sure that they can ascertain what's happening and can really provide appropriate direction, appropriate response. So Philip Petrie was the initial call taker at the 911 center for this incident. He received the information and forwarded the notice to dispatchers for an unconscious child. He continued to stay on the line for about 10 minutes to monitor the situation until the responders could arrive to provide additional CPR or other information to help with the lifeguards and others standing by. Then Nicholas Moreland took the next call regarding the incident, and he followed the same protocol and continued to stay on the line to reassure the caller that help was on the way. And 2 other 911 call takers, Tabitha Brooks and Mark Johnson, also reassured callers that help was on the way. You know, when we have an incident now, we do get a lot of 911 calls, and so there's often a lot of people who are trying to make sure help is on its way. I also want to recognize and thank the medics and firefighters at the scene, Lieutenant David Coe, Fire Medic 3 Paul Korfman, Firefighter 3 Kevin Trevey, and Firefighter 3 Grayson Chu. And I really want to say that we do appreciate each and every day that we have these wonderful people on duty to assist people in need around our community. Guardian Hose Chief Chris Kennard also hoped to join us on behalf of his company, 30, and they're represented tonight by Jen Freshauer. So I do want to take an opportunity to introduce our viewers to these heroes who deserve our heartfelt appreciation, and I would like to ask each of them to introduce themselves and to say a few words if they're comfortable doing so. And I'm going to start with you, Mohammed, because you were first on the scene.
No worries. Well, my name is Mohammed Al-Haraz. I'm from Jordan, and I'm studying here. I started studying in this country. Then I met Christine, which is my wife right now, and I'm glad that I married her. And that day I was with my mom. We were swimming there, and I'm glad I have the lifeguard certificate, which I can help people. And I help people, and I'm really glad to help someone to save life. Thanks.
Patrick, why don't you go next? I think you were the next person to assist.
I just wanted to say, I'm Patrick. I've been working at the lake for 3 years, and I just want to say it was incredibly stressful, but I'm so glad that I had my fellow guard, Jenna, to help me out with it. She was wonderful and couldn't have done without her. Thank you, Jenna.
I think that means you should pass it on to Jenna.
Hi, I'm Jenna Cease. Kind of following up to what he said, I'm really glad he and these other 2 were there to help me that day. But that event made me decide that I actually wanted to go forth and go to medical school and be a doctor. So I promptly dropped out of the university I was in because they didn't have the major I needed, and so now I'm at FCC hoping to go to medical school in the next couple of years. So
Outstanding.
it was definitely a life-changing moment, and I'm very happy that I'm not happy it happened. I'm happy that I now understand what I need to be doing with my life. So
Well, and we're all happy that we have a good outcome. And Heidi?
Hi, I'm Heidi Cicada. I'm a nurse. I'm a nurse practitioner, but I always say I'm a nurse first because that's what I've been the longest. As a nurse, whenever I walk through an airport, I always know and look for where the AED is because I'm just deathly afraid that something's going to happen when I'm not in my environment. And so it was one of those days where you're not in your environment with your regular people, with your regular equipment, and things can go really bad really fast. I think a lot of people know that. So I'm just so thankful the outcome was the girl's alive, because that's the whole goal of most of our jobs that I think are up here, is that people are safe and healthy and can enjoy their lives. And it was quite an honor, because I've never done it as a civilian next to a water on a 5-year-old. So I've done CPR more times than I can probably count, but never on a 5-year-old next to the water, which changes, I think, just about everything. So anyways, it was quite an honor, and so I'm so thankful that Alana is going to be starting school and will be okay. So.
Okay, I do have, again, I really want to commend each of you. It really is a selfless act, and it's really, even though you're trained to be a lifeguard, it's not really what you expected to do.
Yeah.
It's certainly not what you expected to be doing, Heidi, on a relaxing summer day at the lake. But your actions really made a difference to the outcome for this little girl. And as much as we'd like to have fire and EMS ready for anything at every corner, sometimes it does take a little while for people to get there. And so the fact that you stepped in as citizens, were trained to do that, it was part of your job certainly as a lifeguard, but you made the difference for the outcome for this little girl. So I do have certificates for each of you on behalf of the county, and I am going to let some others here speak, but I would like to present these certificates of recognition on behalf of the county, and I'd like to read them. So this is presented to each of you. For your display of the utmost courage and selfless acts of bravery on July 15th, 2016. On that day, a 5-year-old girl was swimming in the lake at Cunningham Falls State Park and began to have trouble and disappeared under the water. The child's grandmother motioned for help from the shore. You took quick action and dove underwater to locate the victim in approximately 5 feet of water. You then carried the girl's limp and pulseless body to the shore, where you worked together with others to help perform life-saving efforts. Your swift and professional action during this incident made a difference in saving the life of this child. You accepted the challenge before you and performed without a flaw. As a result of your actions, the child was resuscitated prior to the arrival of emergency medical services. On behalf of the citizens of Frederick County, I commend you for your exemplary work during this unique near-drowning emergency. I thank you for your contributions to our community and for helping to ensure a safe and bright future for this little child and for everyone in our county, because this is what it's all about, is helping each other. And I just really want to present these to each of you. I do know that that we have representatives here from the congressional offices. Would you like to say a few words?
Sure.
I can just pass the microphone to you if you want.
Oh, okay. I was just gonna.
Okay.
Hello.
Very good.
There we go. Congressman Van Hollen really wanted to be here today because when 4 people from all different kinds of walks of life come together to perform such a heroic deed in saving this little girl's life, it really gives us hope for the future of our country, for the future of the world. So thank you so much. Congressman Van Hollen wants to present this award in recognition of your valor, with gratitude and appreciation for your critical role in saving the life of Alia Newsom at Cunningham Falls State Park on July 15th, 2016. So thank you so much.
Okay. We'll pass these all to you at the end. And Taylor?
Sorry about that. Yeah, same. Congressman Delaney would have loved to be here. He wanted to thank you all for your quick thinking. I'm not entirely sure what my certificate says, but it's along the same lines. And he just wants to thank you all for the hard work and quick thinking and just being there that day.
Okay. Why don't we have the Park Service Lieutenant Colonel, if you want to come up and... Oops, I'm going to disconnect myself.
Thank you, Executive Gardner. And I'm Lieutenant Colonel Chris Bushman. I'm the Deputy Superintendent of the Maryland Park Service. And on behalf of Governor Hogan and Natural Resources Secretary Mark Belton and the Maryland Park Service Superintendent Nita Satina and the Natural Resources Police Superintendent Colonel Ziegler, I'm here tonight to recognize these 4 individuals with the Maryland Park Service Valor Award. And before I present those, I just want to say a little bit to each of the 4 of you and to everybody else that assisted that day. But all of you just need to, and I spoke with the 2 lifeguards the day after, and I told you guys some of this already, but I haven't had a chance to tell you 2. And you just need to know that you have done something that will be with you for the rest of your lives. It's not just the little girl's life who is still here with us. You are now connected to that child for the rest of your life because of what you did. And people that know me know I remember dates. You guys will probably remember July 15th. And there will be an anniversary for you guys when July 15th comes around. May 24th is another day you may want to remember because that is Alea's birthday. And on May 24th, she's going to turn 6. And that is going to be one of the most joyous birthdays her family has ever had with her when she turns 6. Because if it was not for the 4 of you, that would not be happening. That would be a very sad day for them as they would be remembering Alea in a whole different way. They have you to thank for that celebration that will occur. So you might want to remember those days. So we provide training for our lifeguards. We didn't train you guys, but you were there. And what happened that day was that just whatever we did, you did it. You did it. We can only do so much. We do try to make sure that everybody stays safe when they're in the state parks. We do everything we can. But as evidenced by this incident, what it comes down to is we can't do it alone. We need people to step up when something like this happens. And you guys did so in a very selfless manner, instinctively almost, to do what you needed to do. And there is a little girl who's alive today because of it. That's your legacy. You have a joint legacy, the 4 of you, and she has a name, Alea Newsom. I got these plaques for each of you. I'll read them. The 2 for our lifeguards. And lifeguard has a whole different meaning now, doesn't it?
Yep, guarded life successfully.
So I will read the one is the same for both of you. Presented to lifeguard Jenna Marie Seiss and lifeguard John Patrick Vanderkreuzen for your heroic efforts on July 15th, 2016 at Cunningham Falls State Park when you promptly and selflessly acted to provide life-saving aid to the young victim of a near drowning. Your application of professional knowledge and the proper course of action demonstrated the compassion and commitment to public service that reflects well on all Maryland Park Service personnel. This is the Maryland Park Service Valor Award presented to the 2 of you today. And I'll present it to them or put it back down.
You can present it to them if you'd like to.
Jenna?
Thank you.
Patrick? Thank you, sir. And also, presented to Heidi Cicada and Muhammad Al-Haris, the Maryland Park Service Valor Award for your heroic efforts on July 15, 2016 at Cunningham Falls State Park when you promptly and selflessly acted to provide life-saving aid to the young victim of a near drowning. Your offer of aid, without hesitation, demonstrated a remarkable concern for others that serves as an enduring model for all to follow. Heidi? And Mohammed? Thank you. Thank you all so very much. You make us all proud. You make your parents proud. You make your wife proud. You make your husband proud. You make us all proud. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Oh, wow. You're a hard act to follow. With that, I do want to recognize our county employees and in our fire and EMS service, and I'd like them to each introduce themselves and say a few words.
Fire Medic Paul Korfman. I just want to say thank you to all 4 of you, because anytime I get on a call for a 5-year-old in cardiac arrest and can turn the corner and she's crying, I'm good with that.
Kevin Trevey, Frederick County DFRS, and same thing. Thanks for making our job easy.
David K, Lieutenant with DFRS. I just want to thank you guys for making our job easy. Philip Petrie with the Frederick County Department of Communications. I'd just like to say thank you for whoever called 911, giving the accurate information, and getting the first responders there as fast as they could and performing CPR to save the little girl's life.
Mark Johnson, Frederick County Communications, and thank you guys again for quick action and saving a little girl's life. Anyone? Nope.
Anyone else want to add a few words? All right. I'm really very proud and honored to meet all four of you. And I just want to say we're very proud and honored and appreciative of the work that you've done to help another person in our community. You've made a difference to her, but you've left an impact on all of us, too. And so thank you for turning what could have been a very sad and unfortunate occurrence into something that we're all proud of. So thank you for joining us for this show. And if you see any of these people, please say thank you and congratulations. And thank you for joining us.